If you look up to the sky and say, "Please, clouds, don't rain," that doesn't work, does it? Neither will trying to reassure someone who just can't be reassured. They'll go on fretting no matter how much you plead. Chronic insecurity in relationships is a major problem. Why? Because relationships matter deeply. Your health, well-being, and happiness are affected by your relationships more than any other factor. And your most intimate relationships have the biggest effect of all. It's not just the insecure person who suffers. Feeling insecure is a relationship responsibility, and it's horrible for the one who is feeling the insecurity. The burden of fear and obsessive thoughts, of feeling powerless, of awful awareness, may actually be in itself destroying what you treasure most. It can feel pretty unbearable, but it's also tough for the person on the receiving end of all that insecurity. The truth is that being involved with a really insecure person can be hell. Mark Tyrrell wrote an article about overcoming insecurity in relationships, and it was inundated with feedback from all over the world. The scores of comments on the article itself were just the tip of the iceberg. His inbox overflowed with hundreds more private emails from people racked by feelings of relationship insecurity. The article explored the reasons for insecurity and offered practical tips to help overcome it. Eventually, it became the springboard for the development of 10 new steps to overcoming insecurity in relationships. His article was mainly addressed to those who themselves feel insecure in a relationship. But it still also got hundreds of emails from people who have extremely insecure partners. A common recurring theme of these accounts is how isolating it can feel to find yourself in a relationship with someone who is deeply insecure. And this is one major reason why extreme insecurity can be so damaging. Why reassuring your insecure partner is almost a lie. Reassurance is what insecure people want most. It's all too easy for partners and friends to offer reassurances that everything is really okay in the relationship, even when it isn't. This is a kind of denial, and ironically, the reasons it might not be okay are often the product of the insecurity itself. Sometimes the only genuine problem in a relationship is the emotional insecurity of one partner and the effect it has on the relationship as a whole. But it's easy to fall into a pattern of always pretending everything is fine, even when the insecurity becomes really damaging. Some pretense becomes isolating and can drive partners further apart. This is how insecurity can damage or even destroy relationships. Relationships thrive on intimacy, and intimacy stems from feeling you can safely be yourself with your partner. So what does it feel like to be in a relationship with a very insecure partner? Worrying about the relationship breakup. Insecurity stemming from the fear of losing intimacy can actually bring on that loss of intimacy. Jake and Sarah have a relationship and described it like this. I actually feel totally disconnected from Sarah now. She doubts my every word, doesn't believe me when I say I've been working, and constantly misinterprets what I say. It's driving me nuts, and the angrier I get, the more insecure she gets. I can't win. I've tried being sympathetic, but now everything has to be on her own terms. I have to ask myself all the time, is this going to upset her or not? Jake said he started to feel very lonely in his relationship, like he had no one to talk to, because talking to Sarah is like walking on eggshells. Will I say the wrong thing? Will she take it the wrong way? He, like many who are close to someone so insecure, found himself getting more and more emotionally distant from Sarah. He felt less able to speak to her about how she felt, and less able to relax around her. Loneliness isn't about being alone so much as feeling alone with others, because you feel misunderstood by them. And that's how Jake now felt with Sarah. He began to feel trapped, finding it hard to be around her, but also hard not to be around her, because he knew how painful it was for her to be wondering where he was or who he was with. The painful truth is that insecurity can lead to the death of intimacy in a relationship. The fear of losing something can actually bring about that loss. Trying to force intimacy or love, demanding to know how someone feels, what they're thinking, who they've been talking to, what they're doing, can just drive them farther from you. So what should you do if you are in a relationship with a really insecure person? Here's how to tell if you have a really, truly insecure partner. It's vital to figure out whether the person you are with is genuinely, excessively insecure. Some jealousy and insecurity is actually normal in most relationships from time to time, especially in the early stages. Insecure people are often insecure about their insecurity because they instinctively know how damaging it can be. But if insecurity is a constant and central feature of the relationship, then yes, it is a problem and a potential cause of breakdown. Of course, you can reassure your partner, reason with them, and be gentle and loving toward them, but it's important not to make too many adaptations for them. This was the mistake Jake made. He had completely stopped spending any time with his friends without Sarah. He rang her on the hour, every hour, when he had to work late. He told her he loved her many times throughout the day, every day. And it was more like a chore rather than a genuine expression of how he felt. And after a while, the relationship no longer felt real to him. If the relationship becomes all about reassuring and not upsetting the insecure partner, you and your needs get sidelined to the point that the relationship can start to feel meaningless for you. Jake and Sarah's relationship only improved once Sarah herself addressed her insecurity and learned to trust and relax more, with not having to know what Jake was thinking or doing all the time. Her self-esteem improved, and in turn, he then felt more valued and no longer trapped or forced to behave in prescribed ways. At last, he was being listened to and respected again. If your insecure partner has enough insight to know they need to change, then you really can encourage them to make those changes that could really make such a big difference for both of you. Ultimately, no one should have to be constantly on call to their partner or emotionally isolated by them. Good relationships are reciprocal, not one-sided. They flourish when partners trust each other, accept each other, give each other space, forgive each other for failings, and most of all, enjoy each other. You and your partner both deserve that. Take care of yourself.